What's up, everybody? Glenn is back here with Big Jack, making another best bets of the NFL weekend video. This is NFL Week 8 for the 2022 season. Last week, me and Jack both went 1-2. We also were on the same pick that lost. So far this season, when we're on the same pick, we're 1-1. So we both go 1-2 last week. We actually both move to 9-11-1, which isn't great. We want to try to get back to 500, maybe a little bit above. But I'm confident we're gonna have a good couple week stretch here coming up. We'll get this ship heading in the right direction, and we'll get back to winning ways. Jack, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. A little disappointed, especially considering the position we were in last year versus now. It's
Yeah.
been a little frustrating as the season's moved along, but still a long ways to go. And I'm confident that we can turn it around and start getting a little more consistent, positive results as we move down the stretch.
Yeah, for anybody that's not or who didn't tune in last year, you can go back and check the videos. But Jack had a significant winning record last year. I still had a losing record, so nothing's changed on my front, to be honest. But last year, Jack was absolutely on fire. If we had a bigger following, he'd probably be world famous by now based on his last season. But with that being said, this year is a new year. We're struggling a little bit. We got to find a way to get some momentum. I'm positive we will. Just a matter of time. And we'll hopefully start gaining some momentum this week. Week 8, NFL season, almost the halfway point. Jack, let's get into the picks. My first pick of the weekend. I got 3 picks as usual. 2 of them I feel like are the most basic square picks, which scares me a little bit. And then the last one is a ballsy pick that also obviously scares me a little bit. Looked at the board. Didn't love it, shocker, with my record. But we'll get right into the first picks. The first pick, I'm actually going chronological order for my 3 games. My first pick is actually already at the afternoon slot on Sunday. I'm going to go Titans -2 at the Houston Texans. Obviously, this is a square pick. I think anybody in their right mind is going to pick against the Texans if the Texans are only getting 2 points. That's why it scares me is Vegas, the professionals are probably begging me to pick Tennessee in this spot. But that being said, I'm confident that Houston's not going to be able to stop Tennessee's run game. Obviously, King Henry's a beast. The Titans are a little banged up. I think Tannehill's a little banged up. And also their center, Ben Jones, I think he's a center. I don't know if you guys saw the video, but Vrabel was basically crying and hugging him based on his effort this weekend because he played hurt. Hopefully the guy can keep playing because he's a stud. Tennessee -2 at Houston in the afternoon slot. It is a divisional game. Home dogs in division are usually pretty good, but I just think Tennessee's definitely a better team than Houston. I like the chances that they go in there, win by at least a field goal. Jack, thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I think we sort of had the same line of thinking as it pertained to Jacksonville and
Yeah.
the Giants last week. That was the game that we were both on the same side of. We kind of looked at it just what you said, thinking, you know, everyone and their mother is going to be like, oh, Giants are a layup, easy cash. Let's take the opposite side. Unfortunately, it didn't work out down the stretch, but I get what you're saying about, Tennessee probably seems like a layup this week.
Yep.
So, but you're you're just going to throw caution to the wind and, ride with it. I can
I mean,
respect it.
a good gambler probably sticks with the same thought process, and that's how you actually win. I couldn't flip it, and then I'll probably be wrong both weeks. But
No, it's
Tennessee
fine.
-2, afternoon at Houston, Sunday. Come on, Titans. Come on, King Henry. Let's just take
Yeah.
care of business. Let's get a win.
Titans are, low key sort of been your AFC squad for a little bit anyway.
The
So
last
I,
few
I like
years,
I like the pick.
I like Vrabel a lot. I like the brand of football that they play. I don't think they've ever really truly been on any kind of near level with the Mahomes and Allen teams that they can do anything. I think
Yeah.
Tannehill's very limited, and obviously that's a reflection on them. But like they're just a team that kind of takes care of business, plays a tough brand of football. I like and respect them. Hopefully, they show up Sunday and reciprocate that respect and get me a winner.
Absolutely.
What's your first
My
pick,
first
Jack?
my first play, kind of just touched on it, but I'm going to go back to the well. I'm going to
Okay.
play Jacksonville again.
Okay.
They're -2.5. They got the early game Sunday morning, 8:30 Central Time. They're playing over in London. This one pretty simple. Not going to try to overthink it or overanalyze it too much. Just kind of sticking with the fact of the trend regarding Jacksonville and their success that they've had in London. They're one of the teams that has gone over there every year for as long as I can remember had them doing London games at this point.
It's got to be close to
I
10 years now, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to throw out an official number, but it seems like it's been going on for long enough where this year they have like 5 or 6
Yeah.
different games over there.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that they sort of have the right formula, the right approach to that week that involves that sort of unique travel schedule. I think they have it down pat. They know what they're doing as an organization, where a lot of these other teams, it's kind of their first time going through it, makes it a bit more difficult. And Denver, they just kind of stink. I think they are having a disappointing season. And, this is a game where I could see, maybe there's a chance for them to rally and kind of say, we get this one, we get rolling, who knows what could happen. But I also lean more towards the side of thinking this is a game where they just fold and this season becomes a wash. So I like Jacksonville, cover the 2.5, take care of business over in London, which has kind of been a stomping grounds for them.
So you talk about the Jags kind of having a little bit of um, a game plan when they go to these London games. They're an organization that has done it quite a few times. Did you see what Russell Wilson was doing on the plane ride over to London? Did you hear any of that?
No, I didn't.
So he told the media. So it's an 8 hour flight, okay,
Okay.
overnight, and supposedly all his teammates were sleeping during the flight, right? Which I assume most people would probably try to do.
Right.
So Russ, this is his 8 hour flight. First 2 hours watching film, 4 hours of calisthenics up and down the aisles. Calisthenics and stretching. Could you imagine trying to sleep on an airplane and quarterback one, the corniest cornball of all time, is over there fucking stretching and doing lunges and shit in the fucking aisle?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, after this breaking news, I think I'm not even going to make two other picks. I'm just going to say 3 units, put them all on Jacksonville, load them up.
He's such a tryhard. It's so funny. All
Yeah,
right,
it's
I
tough.
like the pick. When I saw, I was looking at the board when I saw Denver was 2-5. I didn't realize they were quite that bad. Holy shit! But anyway, my second pick, Sunday Night Football. This is the ballsy one. I'm going Bills minus 11.5 against the Packers. The Bills at home are another animal, even than on the road. Obviously, they're one of the top very few teams in the NFL. Um, that goes home or away, but at home they're like murdering people. They're awesome against the run, so they're going to probably take a lot of that away from the Packers. And it's you know so far this season, the Packers' pass game has not been great. Honestly, their biggest weapon has been Aaron Jones, probably. So maybe they do something to kind of slow him down as well through the passing game. But Buffalo, big number against the Packers. It's still an Aaron Rodgers led team. It's still Matt LaFleur, who I think is a pretty good coach. They still have a pretty good defense, in my opinion. But I'm going to take Buffalo minus 11.5 at home on Sunday Night Football versus the Packers. I try to take fandom out of it. I'm really trying to think of this not as a Packer hater. I'm really just thinking that I think Buffalo wins in a rout.
No, yeah, we kind of talked about it, 2 weeks ago. I was on the Packers against the Jets when they were coming off that Giants loss. You were on them last week when they were coming off the Jets loss against the Redskins or
Commanders.
Commanders,
Yep.
rather. But I still do like that, even regardless of the fact they've lost two in a row, that trend still stands of Rodgers being excellent against the spread off a loss. So, do it worries me a little. Is he really not going to cover three in a row? But at the same time, I mean, they've just been bad.
They've been bad.
Sometimes, yeah, you can't. I wouldn't be confident going on them. I don't necessarily love going against them,
Yeah.
but I could see
So
why you would do it.
yeah. So I mean, the other thing that scares me is this is borderline a back against the wall game for the Packers, especially with Minnesota taking such a stranglehold on the division. Is it the hungry dog runs faster in this one? That's very possible. Like, this is a game where I think the Bills will probably win handedly, and that's why I'm going to bet on them. But it would not surprise me if the Packers win on the money line. Like, they're
You think if it's close, the Packers win?
not necessarily, but like it wouldn't surprise me. Like, I could see the Packers showing up and showing that, hey, we haven't gone anywhere yet. So I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me either way. I told you I don't like the board. My record this year isn't that great. It's one of the few games that was really standing out to me. I'm gonna go Buffalo minus 11.5. We'll see what happens.
Yep. No, definitely. It's a solid play. I'm always up for going against the Packers,
For
so
sure.
hopefully they smack them around. Plus, I like the fact that Buffalo's coming off a bye. That's a nice little bonus too.
Definitely.
You mentioned in the division, you brought up Minnesota. That takes me to my next play. I'm taking the Vikings at home. I'm currently showing them at 3.5. So it's a little more expensive at minus 115, but that's the official lock is 3.5. Cardinals have had some interesting contests this year, to say the least. But I'm not the biggest buyer of Kyler Murray's stock. I just little quarterbacks in general are kind of a flash in the pan, in my opinion. Drew Brees is obviously a Hall of Fame career. Russ Wilson's probably going to be a Hall of Famer, even though we were just kind of throwing him some shade. But it's just tough to be a little guy back there. And I think people are kind of picking up on him and Cliff Kingsbury's gimmicks. And I do think Minnesota is a 5-1 football team. The famous line of "You are what your record says you are." Um, they're 5-1. They're good,
They're
man.
good.
I
They're
think
good.
Minnesota's a solid team all the way through. I think they handle their business at home. I like them to cover that 3.5.
Yeah, I think Minnesota's only lost is the Eagles, if I'm right.
Yeah, that's
Um,
correct. On the Monday night game in Philly.
Yeah, their only losses to the Eagles. The Giants' only losses to a good team, I want to say. The Cowboys' only losses are to some good teams. Like, this football season, there's been a lot of surprises for me. Minnesota kind of being one of them, to where, I thought they'd be okay. I didn't realize they're going to be as good as they are. They're a very solid team from top to bottom. Very impressive. I like the pick. I wonder if it's a double XP weekend for Call of Duty. If it is, it's a lock. Because Kyler Murray won't be won't be his head won't be in the game at all. He'll just be trying to get in the gulag. But I don't know, man. I like the pick. I think the Vikings are for real. I like the Cardinals the last couple years. I think I'm kind of with you. I don't know if I'm with them this year. Vikings minus 3.5 at home versus the Cardinals. Obviously, if we could lose the hook, even better. But yeah, I like it. I like the pick. All right. My last pick is Monday Night Football. This is the other pick that I felt like was a total square pick, but I'm just going to go with it. Bengals minus 3 at Cleveland on Monday night. Once again, similar to that Titans pick, it is a division game. I am picking a road favorite, which historically is not a good idea. And I also feel like it's a square pick because the Bengals should be beating the Browns by 3 all day, every day. I could be getting absolutely, mouse trapped here with these games, but I don't give a fuck. It's the picks I got. Bengals minus 3 at Cleveland. Let's go get it done.
Yeah, no, I mean, Bengals are probably the team I've had the most success with this year. I think I'm either 2-1 or 3-1 when I've been on them. Was on them last week. They covered for me. I think that offensive line has shown a lot of progression, which is nice. Burrow was getting beat up very similarly to the way he had last year after they tried to improve the line. And now I think they're getting to the point where they're starting to gel a little bit. They're figuring things out. And I mean, Joe Burrow's had back-to-back just nasty weeks from a stats standpoint. That receiving core is excellent. I like him to keep it rolling. I don't love Monday night games or national games really in general, but yeah, I think if I had to pick a side, I'd be right there with you on the Bengals.
Right on.
My last pick, I'm kind of teetering back and forth. Uh, I'm actually having issues with the app loading the official spreads right now, so I'm looking on Yahoo instead.
Okay.
If you have DraftKings open, I might need you to confirm a line for me,
Okay.
but I'm actually going to go with the Rams at home as a dog against the 49ers. Yahoo's showing plus 1.5.
That's what I see on DraftKings.
Okay, that's fine. We'll stick with that then. So plus 1.5 for the Rams is the official lock. Um, I think they're coming off the bye. I think they're a hungry team, kind of dealing with a little bit of that Super Bowl hangover maybe at the start of the year. They've played a lot of good teams. They have that. You're always going to have a tough schedule. That's why the NFL can flip so quickly. They make those teams who were successful the year prior always have the toughest schedules the following year. The kind of dogs of the league, if you will, get those sort of cake schedules. So, I think the Rams are going to come out of the bye. Feel like they got a lot to prove. There's kind of a lot of people bagging on them. 49ers have an excellent track record against them in the regular season. I want to say Jimmy Garoppolo and Shanahan are undefeated against the Rams in the regular season. But I'm going to go against the grain in this one. They're catching a point at home. I like them on the money line, even if you want to try to grab a little extra juice. But I'll always take the points. I think they come out with a solid performance and get the W.
Right on. Right on. They're a team not too dissimilar to some other teams out there, but they're a team where it's like, are they gonna show something, or are they just gonna kind of fade into the abyss? Are they gonna show that they were the champions last year and that they're here to try to do it again, or are they just gonna be a kind of half-ass football team? I don't know. We'll see. But okay, I'll be interested in that game for sure. I think that's a game I'd love to just watch as a neutral, see what happens. Obviously, I said the storyline with the Rams. Are they gonna show something or not? San Fran is kind of another one of those teams where going in the season, I expected them to be kind of like what the Eagles are, and they're just not anything near it. Obviously, the opener was tough for them with Trey Lance being a high school level quarterback, but I thought with Jimmy G being in there, they'd be a lot more solid. But all right, those are the picks. My 3 picks: Titans -2, Bengals -3, Bills -11.5. Jack's 3 picks: the Jaguars -2.5, the Vikings -3.5, and the Rams +1.5. Jack, let's go 6-0 this week. Let's get those records.
Man.
Let's get those
It's
records in the
coming,
positive. If you guys are new to the channel, follow, like, subscribe, and if you want to check out our next video, I'll be talking about the Bears game this Sunday against the Cowboys. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, peace.